this presentation is going to be more about the story behind it. It's not really about specific stuff in sports.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oil. Like, yeah, I guess. So, and I have some notes here. And this is the thing. See, you're tricky. Okay. So we're gonna have like three main takeaways, and I'm gonna tell some sort of a story, and we have like three special moments. Those are gonna be my three lessons, and feel free to use them if you relate to them. So, I would like to start off by saying that every successful story starts with a disaster. Okay, you're laughing already because you probably know what's gonna happen. So I would like to show you a video. It's a video about my first national competition. And I'm sorry because this shit doesn't work with videos here.
This is the start of the third Reich, right?
So I need to pull. Yeah.
Put it up somewhere.
Can you see it? No. I need to get up. It's Jay. Call support, please. Okay. Exit. Okay, and you have the video here. Oh, you're gonna laugh. So, keep in mind, I am the guy in blue. Just in case you don't see that guy. Yeah, it's a shitty quality, but. Fuck that shit! Yeah, that was me. That was my disaster. It started with a disaster. Now we're here. Okay. And here we're gonna see how this guy what the fuck, became this guy.
Oh shit.
Get the images, bitch. Oh my god. And here we're gonna see how sports changed my life. So, we have some sort of background I would like to introduce. And the background is about my mom and my lost friends. Back in 1999, when I was a little kid, my mother died, and I was like 11 years old. And it was a tough moment. Like, you're a kid, my mom was like my best friend, and you lose your mom, you have to learn a lot of shit by your own. And I was living with my brothers, only because I never lived with my father. And at some point you think about life like shit just can go down in a second, you don't realize. I was thinking about my life and I realized I didn't have shit and I wasn't shit. I used to live in a place where everybody used to hang out. Seriously, we used to call it the Mickey House. Some rappers, they made a song about my house because we used to have like homeless dudes, hookers, cops, gangsters, me for some reason, cool kids, like everybody can think about was hanging out in my house. And I saw a lot of shit in there. I saw violence, I saw love, I saw hate, but I also saw wasted talent. And then I never got that shit. Like, these guys are so talented, they were wasting their lives. I never got it. And for some reason, those guys did never let me do nasty shit. They never let me drink, they never let me smoke or join a hood fight, like we're gonna fight those guys, you shouldn't come. Because, like they said, I had a future ahead of me, okay? These guys, they had some faith in me. I felt like people were actually sending me on a mission. You know this movie, right?
Of course.
300, the bravest man in the world. So I feel like that guy, I'm a warrior, and I am on a mission to make shit happen because they believe I can do something. So be somebody, succeed, whatever. Just come back home with something to cheer for. And I was like, okay. I was doing sports my whole life. and I decided I would go like all in with sports. I need to get away from that place. As you could see in the picture, they don't look that friendly. And yeah, I decided I was not a good athlete at the time, but I still tried. Okay, I'm gonna try to get into the National Sports Center. That was a good place for me to be, I believe, to make my people proud. And this is when you don't think about that thing at the moment, but you cannot give up. Like I said, I didn't have shit and I wasn't shit. There's nothing I could do. There's no other choice. You can just go up. You can never go down. What else could I have? Nothing. And now I look back and I realize that was my first lesson. Find your mission. Give yourself a reason to get out of bed every fucking day. I was that warrior. I felt like I was on a mission. So yeah, I found my reason. And some people, for some reason, some people believed in me. They put themselves on the line so I could have an opportunity. And I got into that sports center. Sorry. I got into that sports center to become somebody, right? So sports center made me follow my dreams and make my people proud. I needed to find a way to succeed, and I knew like if it depended on me, I would make it. That was my only thing. I just need the conditions. If you give me the conditions, I'm confident I'm gonna make it. You see here this shitty room? This was the place I used to live. I lived here for 10 years. Everything I had, because I left home, my brothers, they got evicted, so I had no place to go back. This was my house, actually. And I lived here for 10 years. Everything I had to fit in this room. There's nothing behind it. It's the door and this. The worst part is, you see, there's two beds. You have to share this room with another motherfucker. So it gets even smaller. For me, this was a castle. I was like, yes, I'm living in a great place. This room was a great place for me. The good part of it is you can actually focus on the things that matter. I could just focus on being a good athlete. There's nothing here to distract me, so you can just commit and do the thing you were told, or go for your mission. That was my initial thing, my mission. So, and this is what we hear about athletes, right? It's about discipline, it's about ambition, it's about repetition. And real shit starts here. So I'm in the sports center, I have new life, I have new routine, I have new coach, everything is set up, and I have one goal. Remember that video, right? I was disqualified in that race. That was like the qualification round. And when I was in the crowd watching the final race, I said, one day I'm gonna be back, I'm gonna win this shit, and I'm gonna become the best Portuguese athlete ever. Obviously, some people laughed. Some people give me the look like, yeah. And I meant it. That was just more motivation for me. Okay, you don't believe me? I'm gonna show you. And I decided I will go back into that arena, face the Lions again, and just break all the records. I would go home, I would qualify to the Olympic Games, and just be the best. I was focused on winning. That was my thing. So I got back on track, and that was, like I said, I was purely focused on winning, working on the details. Those are the details that make the difference, I believe so. Every single day, I was working on those details. If you think that design is all about the details, you should try sports. Sports, it's funny, but sometimes you're working on details that people cannot even see them. And that's kind of fucked up. Nobody can see what you're doing. So think twice when you assume that, when you assume nobody's paying attention to the shit you're doing. Look at that creepy, oh, I'm watching. Like At some point, I don't say like everybody's looking at you every day, but someday somebody's gonna see you in that corner for some reason. And even if nobody's looking at you, at least you are doing it for yourself. You are looking at yourself. Because at the end of the day, you are doing this for you. I think. Sorry. Need to scroll down. Okay, and this is what I believe is the difference between working and practicing, right? Some friends of mine, sometimes they would ask me, "Oh, you want to go to that party? We're gonna have some fun." I would say, "No, I have some very important practice tomorrow. I can't make it." Like, dude, what the hell? Like, you're going to the party, you can go later. You're just going for a run. And I realized that people they never got the point about sports, about the commitment. It's like I wasn't going to the track for a run. I was actually going to use the track to improve my speed. And that's some of the difference you can find here. If I'm tired and I go for an extra set, an extra running set, I'm not showing off like, hey, look at me, I can handle this, I'm going again. No, I'm just learning how not to give up when shit goes down. When you're not expecting and suddenly you're tired, you need to learn how not to give up. And those were the details I was actually working. For instance, here, we're all like media monks, you don't have a job, you're building a career. These are kind of cliche, but you are not a bad designer, you are just failing towards excellence. And you are not working late, you are practicing. And if you pay attention to the last one, I hear all the time, "Hey, go home, you're working too late, whatever." No, it's not that I'm trying to meet some deadline, I'm just practicing, putting myself in the position I believe I should be to be a great designer. Of course, you're gonna make some people look bad with your commitment, or you're gonna lose some friends and not being cool because of that. But that's something you should learn because it means you are doing the right thing. And that was the lesson number 2 for me. Find your superpower, do it like nobody else. You guys probably heard me talking about the superpower before. I keep bringing it on because I really believe in it. It's not like I was doing this shit at the time, like, yeah, this is my superpower. No, I found out that later when I was looking back, I was like the introspective moment, and I realized, yeah, I was searching for my superpower. And this is our lesson number 2. So, sport gave me this framework, like failing, adapting, learning, do it again. And you should get used to the part of failing because you're gonna fail a lot. I was failing a lot because I wasn't winning. At first, I was a little kid with no skills, just losing. And my father, he was my first coach. He told me, at the time it was hard to make sense out of it, but at the time he told me, you're not gonna win every time, but you're gonna catch up eventually. But if you're not winning, at least make your losses mean something. And at the time I was, yeah, what does it mean with this? So he gave me an example. He put me on the field with the example. And I was actually running with the senior athletes, like the best Portuguese athletes when I was 15. I should be running with the little kids, with the little hurdles. And he said, no, you're gonna do it. You're gonna fail with greatness. You're gonna learn how to win, but win with greatness. We're gonna be the best. When you win, you're sure you're the best. I was like, okay. I had to trust my father with that. I believed in me in some way, so I was kind of trusting the darkness. And that was the whole process. Like, you don't know if you're either totally wrong or totally right. You don't know, there's like nothing in between, no gray areas, you just go for it. And I had to wait 8 years for that thing to work. Like just believing and working and keep failing, like progressing, of course. But at some point, some stuff doesn't work as you want it to work. Like school wasn't going right, my emotional life was not going right, your family's away, you're not winning yet, And it's like, shit, it's hard to keep yourself together with that. So I decided I need to shake things. And I decided to flip the board. Like, fuck that shit. I flipped the board. It's like I was not changing my direction. I was just shaking my world, because some unnecessary stuff needed to go away. And this is actually true. I dropped college. I dropped negative people around me. I dropped my coach. I dropped video games. And I was focused only on doing the thing that made me happy at the time. The invisible work I told you about. Nobody asked me to do that. I was waking up, for example, I was waking up at 7 a.m. 7 a.m. I was in the track. Nobody in there. I was just working on details. I would go to the swimming pool and run inside the water to improve my technique with the slow movements and analyze that thing. How can I improve my technique to be better? Nobody was looking at me. I just believed in those details. That invisible work was the thing that I decided to do. And this was the darkness. Yeah, those things were the things that I believed were not working out. So, and the funniest part was, at some point, like out of nowhere, it was like an overnight miracle. Shit just got together. Like everything got in place. I won my first race in the season. I remember I won that race. It was a beautiful race, and I was running I think it was like two guys, me and another guy, like the shittiest race ever, but I did it great. And I qualified for my first European Championships. I'm like, wow, this works. So I got to the European Championship qualification round, and I broke my personal best. I'm like, shit, I'm kicking it. Semifinals, I broke the Portuguese record. Wow, I did it. I broke the national record. Like, my people was proud of me. I was like showing on TV interviews, like, oh, in your face. Like those guys that gave me the look, I was like, in your face, mother. Okay, I cannot see the word, but you know what I mean. So everything was awesome. I had 1 week. We had like 1 week left to qualify to the Olympics. And it was, by coincidence, it was the national championship. So I got to the national championship, I won, I broke the record again, the Portuguese record, and I qualified to the Olympics. Like, fuck! Finally, like my dream, okay, I got it. I said I would do it, I did it, I got it. It's amazing, huh? Not really. This is not a shitty picture, this is just a blurry vision. This is what I can remember. All that thing, all that work, all those years, they were gone in 13 seconds. This is what I can remember. I can't remember shit, to be honest. And every time I try to go back, this is what I see. This is the tunnel. This is me coming out of the darkness. Like everything behind was a long path, and what's on the other side, it kind of doesn't matter because it's gonna be over in a second. It's about the journey. Like Edwin said in the last presentation, it's about those small happy moments you get. That is the journey that make this thing work. That's why I call it a framework now, because now I know that all that period was the one I should learn from. Because the high stage is like, yeah, it's cool, it's amazing, but it's gonna be over. And it's really gonna be over. So, 1 month later, and you're gonna see now, I'm back on track, everything back to normal. I got injured. People turned their back. I realized I'm not that special, and my father died. Wow, reality check again. What now? What do you do? Just your dreams, everything you got all those years, swipe, start over. Like, wow. You gotta be kidding me. You need to turn your plan B into your plan A. You just need to flip the board again. So I did that. I started doing some volunteering. I went back to school. I met new people. I was deciding, okay, you know sports are not forever, you need to think about your life. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start a design career. Since I was a fast learner, it was easy to find opportunities. And I landed in an internship with a small agency in Lisbon at the time. So I was working and balancing the work and training. It was cool. It was hard, but I was kicking it. And you learn, and then you realize, because we're talking about Portugal, so it's not that hard to succeed. And you realize, okay, I want more. I want to work for a big company. That was my thing. I wanted to work. I want to be in the main stage. I want to be a hero like I was as an athlete. And I left the company, and I said, sorry guys, but I need to go. I'm looking for something more. And they said, yeah, good luck with that, following that illusion. And I said, thanks, more motivation for me. So I kept trying, I kept reaching. At the end, it was like 2 months in the dark again, but at least it was faster this time. And I got 2 interviews. One of them was with the Domani Studios, and the other one was a small agency in London. I took the small agency in London to practice. Basically to practice. I like to practice. At the time, I used to do that. Practice interviews and see how am I doing, how I'm talking. And I thought, yeah, I got this. I was confident. Turns out that was one of the most important lessons I've had so far. And they told me, yeah, you didn't get the job. Okay, I didn't get the job. And I replied, well, can you give me some feedback? I would like to know, where can I improve? What am I missing? And the lead designer, she told me, dude, you looked so cocky and you were not showing interest at all. Like your ego just killed you. You should check that and be more humble. Wow. I replied, yes, awesome, best feedback ever. She was like, whoa, 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 whoa. What's going on here? You're supposed to be mad. I said, no, she just gave me the best feedback ever. I had to thank her because I was not getting rejected. In my mind, I was being promoted. They told me to look inside me because the problem was inside me. It was something I could control. Of course, I can be a little bit dramatic here, but for the sake of the example, imagine they say, oh, you're black. We don't want black people here. Fucked up, but there's nothing you can do about it. She told me, you have a ego problem or whatever. And I was like, okay, I can do something about it. So I was doing volunteering before that. And I had this, I had some of these key straps you got like as a souvenir. And I kept that key strap for some reason for 2 years in my pocket. Like every day I was wearing that key strap. It had like a company name on it. And I kept thinking about that thing. Oh, look inside you. Okay, maybe the answer is closer than I thought. And one day I was playing with that key strap. I said, you know what? I'm going to send an email to these guys. Because I was following these guys' work. So I sent an email, and for some reason, I got an interview with the coolest guy in that company. That guy was Kegwan. So long story short, here I am. And that led us to the last lesson, turning problems into opportunities. It's all about the attitude. I don't believe I got an internship at Media Monks because I was super skilled. No, I believe it was because of the attitude. I showed some enthusiasm. I was learning a lesson before. Coming out of like every successful story starts with a disaster. That was kind of the disaster, that rejection and the feedback, but it turned out to be something good. And this is something I keep doing, at least I try to do it every day, to put myself in the position I would like to be. So, keep in mind, find your mission, find your superpower, and turn your problems into opportunities. This is how sports changed my life. Thanks, guys. hope you can take some.
Again.
Again. Again.
One more time. One more time.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Hey.